Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's video where we will show the capabilities of the new CMU tools in Tekla Structures. My name is Jared Beeman and I'm an application specialist for our concrete segment. In this presentation we'll cover the new CMU Wall Tool. We'll also discuss applications for using your BIM model for multiple purposes. The applications we'll also cover are adding detail to your model, such as reinforcement and bond beams. We'll discuss how to organize the model information and develop a custom report from your model. And we'll also touch on creating plan and detail drawings with schedules for CMU. To place our wall, we'll go over to the component catalog and click on the CMU Wall Tool. Now I can click my start location and my end location. And next we'll open up the dialog box to control how we want our wall laid out. Let's double click on our wall and pull up the properties. And with this tool, we'll go over each of the four tabs of what we can control as far as the geometric parameters of the wall. In the first section, wall attributes, we can control what we need the offset to be. If I was to change this to be something noticeable like 2 inches, and I would hit modify, and I can zoom in and show the changes as they happen. You can see those are shifted over. And then again, we can control the spacing between those blocks as well. And we can also control the wall height. I can hit modify, and then it'll make that adjustment. We can also control where we want the offset to be, if we want it to be at the top or the second from the top. So I could change that offset to be this other option. Now I'll hit modify and it'll adjust that. In the block attributes tab, we can control what we want the shape of each individual block to be. With this tool, you have the flexibility to either use a profile that's built into Tekla, or you can import your own using SketchUp, for example. So if we want to select the profile as a part, we'll go to select, and this will pull up our profile catalog. So we have these standard blocks out of the box that you can select from to choose your shape. We can give it a height of that block, we can give it a material, name, and then some other information to go with the design group. We can load up something like an architectural screen, so I'll select my item in this drop-down list, and here is where I can select my shape, and you can import your own custom shapes that were built in other softwares. And again, selecting your material and all your other relevant information. Now once I hit modify, it's going to change the shape. So with this architectural screen blocks, we can inquire in on these blocks, and we'll still be able to get physical information out of them, such as their weight, their volume, and their area. The end conditions tab is self-explanatory. We can change the arrangement of blocks at the end. So we can scroll down and have these fillers at the end. So if I was to select this one, it would change that arrangement of blocks at the start. You can see it adds those additional blocks in. I can change the class of those blocks. Once I hit modify, now they'll be blue just like my image here. Again, we can give those a profile, a material, and a name along with these parts. We can add openings quickly using the CMU Wall opening component. I'll click on this, and now I'll just select my wall where I want to add my opening and then my position of my opening. Here I've added in an arch opening. If I want to add in a rectangular or square opening, I can do that as well. Again, I'll just click on my component, click on my wall, and then select my location. If I double click on that component, it'll pull up the dialog box. So here's where we can control the width of our opening, the height of our opening, as well as the offset from our pick point. Let's check out how we can add some reinforcement into our walls. You can create your own custom components to speed up this process. I'll go over the traditional method of drawing out our bars and then the distance from start to end. So I'll come up to the concrete tab and click on rebar. I've saved some settings away so I can more quickly place these, like my CMU wall dowels. What this setting has is it has the development length from my start position, and it also has the end hook of 90 degrees, as well as a 4-inch cover from the bottom of my strip footing. First, we need to find the shape of the bar, so I'm just going to draw this as a straight line from here, and I'll say my footing is 12 inches deep, so I'll just type in 12 and hit enter. And now I'll end my shape. Now we just need to select the range of our reinforcement, so I'll just click from here down to here. So if we look through our wall, we can see how those bars were placed, and you can see I didn't have to draw that hook in. Tekla already knows what sort of angle, radius, and length to use for that standard hook. Let's pull up our reinforcement properties again, and I'll load up my CMU wall verticals. We'll just go through the same process, just click a part to reinforce it. This time I'm going to click from here to here for the shape of my bar, and then my range will be the same range. So once I place these and I zoom into my model, they should be placed just how they are going to be tied on site. I might need to make an adjustment here so that my start cover would be 0. So now that's resting against the ground. And you can see they're close enough next to each other that they can be tied off. Let's add a bottom beam in our model. I'll go up to the beam tab under concrete and click on polybeam, and I'll pull up the settings first. If we go to the profile catalog, we can select bottom beams here. So we have 6, 8, 10, and 12 inch beams. I'll click on the 8, I'll press apply. I can even save this setting away so I always have it with me when I start Tekla. So now I'll just click my locations for where I want this bond beam to be, placing this to the left of the line I'm drawing. Now I'll just end that command and we can see how that's been placed. If we need to update the position, I can go to the position here and say I want it to the left of that line. If we need to change the bond beam size, I could just double click on this, go to the profile catalog, change it to a 6 inch, and then hit modify, and that makes that adjustment. We can also use the organizer application to look at our information in our model and then develop reports from them. I've created a custom category over on the right side, so when I click on this, it's automatically going to bring information into my object browser. So in this template, I've selected to have a code, an automatic number generated by Tekla, a name associated with those objects, the total tonnage, and then the material. And if we want to export out to Excel, we can simply just click on this, select your report template, and once we export that out, we'll get our Excel document. Let's do a quick example how we can make some general arrangement drawings for a plan, a wall section, and a wall elevation for our CMU walls. I've set these views up before and I've even given them a distinct name. So if I want to make a general arrangement drawing, I could click in the back of these views. I'll right click and then I'll press create general arrangement drawing. We want to open this drawing after we command to create it. I'll pull up my drawing properties first, and I'm going to load up my CMU drawing sheet properties. I'll hit apply, OK. Before we move on, the settings that are going to be included in this are going to be our title block and our layout. We can make some specific rules in our object level settings so we can control specifically how we want certain items to be called out or to be visualized. And if they're not included in the object level settings, we can globally control how we want to have everything marked and then how we want everything to appear. So I'll apply these settings, hit OK, and I'll press create. Now I'll load my drawing up. You can see here's my plan. I've got my wall elevation and my wall section, as well as a rebar schedule on the top right. I can also come out here and add some extra marks in. If I want to add an associative note, I could click on my CMU wall block and just add that in. So now I have my name, my material, and then I added in a model total. That's all for this presentation. Thanks for watching and learning a little bit about our new CMU Wall Tool, as well as adding some detail to that concrete masonry, organizing that information, and then learning a little bit about creating some general arrangement drawings for your CMU walls. If you have any other questions or feedback about our CMU Wall tools, please reach out to your local services team.